friends, welcome to the Maple Leaf Barn, located outside of Cincinnati, Ohio in Zone 6A. Today I'd like to share how I am starting some ranunculus corms. Have you ever grown ranunculus? If so, let me know in the comments what your favorite ranunculus variety is. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and enjoy this journey as we experiment growing ranunculus for the first time. I bought some corms from Foxhill Garden, which I already started. I pre-sprouted them. They're looking really good, and I think that was about 20 days ago. I ordered 3 different varieties from Foxhill Garden, and those included marshmallow, champagne, and chamello. Laura with Foxhill Garden did include this really cool instruction sheet. Because I am new to ranunculus, I do really appreciate all the helpful information that Laura included. I also ordered some ranunculus corms from the Flower Hat, and I just got it in the mail, so I thought I would open it up with you. How cute is his little logo? I love that. If you aren't familiar with the Flower Hat, I highly encourage you to go check out his sites and just see what he's all about. He is an amazing flower instructor, flower grower, floral designer, just all the things. So let's go ahead and open up this box I got from the Flower Hat. Ooh, look, here we go. Okay, so we have the ranunculus orange and the ranunculus Juliet. And it's so cute. I love how his little logo is just precious. The first thing that you want to do when you are getting ready to plant your ranunculus is pre-sprout them. But in order to do that, you have to soak your corms to get them nice and plump. So let's take a look at what they look like before they're hydrated. If you have done any research on ranunculus or you have any interest in growing it, you have seen what a corm might look like. And some people think it looks like an octopus. So what we're gonna wanna do is soak our corms for about 3 to 4 hours until they're nice and hydrated and they plump up a little bit. And there's several ways of doing that. Some people like to just put the corms in a glass of water and just let them soak. Personally, I am new to ranunculus, so I don't wanna take any chances. And I did what several people suggested, was to oxygenate the water by just letting a little bit of water trickle in to the area where it's being soaked. I'm just gonna follow the rules that some people said really works, and that's what happened with my first round. I did them in the sink with just a little bit of water running for 3 to 4 hours, and so far they're doing really well. So let me show you how I did that. My friend Erin over at the Valley Garden Co. on Instagram suggested this really helpful tip, and I'd love to share it with you too. She suggested to use vegetable bags to help soak your ranunculus, and I will show you how we do that. If you're doing a bunch of varieties, it might get confusing as to what bag each variety is in. The way I did it with my first batch of ranunculus was write down the color of the bag on each of the papers that they came in. For an example, I will write for this one, red. So I know that all of these varieties went in the red bag. There's probably another way of doing it, but that's just what worked for me, and it seems pretty simple enough. I'm going to put the corms in this bag. We'll take them upstairs to the sink, just gently turn on a drizzle, and let them soak for the next 3 to 4 hours. I will check on them just to see how they're doing, and it might be 3 hours, it might be 4.
I just used my powder bathroom upstairs so I could be close by to check on it, and we just let the water run for about 3 hours. One reason why you want to leave the water running is because it'll help to prevent bacteria to build up.
3 hours later.
Some people think they look like octopus. Some people think they look like Squidward from SpongeBob. I'll let you decide. So you can see they're definitely plumped up a little bit and a lot larger than they were when they were dormant. Make sure you don't forget to label. This is so helpful because when you have those flowers growing, you want to make sure that you know what variety it is. So once the corms have been soaked, it's just time to put them in this little tray full of 1 inch of soil and let them start acclimating and pre-sprouting. We have 1 inch of soil in the bottom of this tray, and we will be adding an additional sprinkled amount on top. Some people don't even cover them at all, but just to allow them to stay hydrated, I did cover them. They say that most ranunculus do pre-sprout in 10 to 14 days, and they can continue to grow roots up to 4 to 6 weeks. Once you're ready to take them outside and the temperatures are starting to warm up just a little bit, you can start hardening them off to make sure that they're prepared to be living outside. You will want to plant the corms 2 inches deep and about 6 inches apart, and make sure that the claws are pointing down. If you think there's a chance of frost, be sure to have a frost cloth or some kind of plastic nearby in case there's any kind of frost or freezing. You can really damage the ranunculus if they're not protected. It takes about 90 days for ranunculus to reach maturity and start blooming. If you plant ranunculus in the spring, you can expect about 4 to 6 weeks of bloom time, but if you plant them in the fall in a warmer climate or in a hoop house or low tunnel, you can expect them to bloom for 6 weeks or more. In a later video, we'll start talking about harvesting, but just a fun fact, when you harvest ranunculus, you want to make sure that they open and close about 3 times. They open during the day and close at night. You want them to have a little gentle squish and feel a little bit like a marshmallow. You can expect the vase life of 10 to 14 days. These are such beautiful spring flowers. They're a great way to diversify your bouquets instead of only relying on tulips. I thought it would be a good idea to share how you can plant in the spring and still have a maybe smaller but still successful crop.
A few moments later.
Now I want to show you what I'm doing with my corms once they have pre-sprouted and they're sending up shoots. So let me show you how they look. They have been in this container. They were pre-sprouted about 19 days ago. They've been in the dark because ranunculus likes the dark, cool climate while they are pre-sprouting. However, I thought that they just could handle getting down to 30 degrees or whatever, even when they were pre-sprouting, but that's not quite true. I found out later through this experiment that your ranunculus needs to have it a little bit warmer temperature while they are pre-sprouting. But then once they're pre-sprouted, they want that cool weather, which is why I really want to get them out into the beds. I need the corms to go outside, but in order to do that, I think I'm gonna put them in just a slightly larger container until I can get them into the beds. We're gonna go ahead and mix up the soil and get it a little bit wet and then plant it up. What we wanna do is make sure that we know our frost date. For me, it is April 13th. I am gonna say April 17th because that's an easy date for me to remember, and it still says it's about 50% chance not having a frost. So I'm gonna go with the 17th of April, and we need to backtrack 4 months from April 17th. So figure out your last frost date for the spring and then backtrack about 4 months to start your ranunculuses. You want to figure out when your temperatures in your area start to reach that 70s, because in the 70s, the ranunculus start to stop performing as strongly, and then if it's consistently in the 70s up to 80s, they'll start to go dormant. I'm just enjoying the process of learning how these little guys work. I mean, they're fascinating, and I think that anytime you can grow something new and experiencing that is going to help you become a better grower, a better gardener. And if you have never grown ranunculus, you should give it a chance because the flowers are beautiful, and I cannot wait to have some in my garden. They're all planted up and it's time to put them under the grow lights. They're gonna stay here for another couple weeks just to have some more growth and to get some sunlight, and then we'll go ahead and plant them out into the soil. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe because in our next video about ranunculus, we are going to be planting these out into the beds. I will give you an update on the new batch that I just started from the Flower Hat, and hopefully they will have some growth on them and be ready to go out to the beds with the rest of these that I ordered from Fox Hill Garden. See you next time.